Today's lesson is how to apply the law of cosines. The law of cosines is a very tricky looking formula. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and write it out up here, and then we're just going to talk about how the substitution occurs. There are three ways to write this problem, but the most familiar one we used in class is little c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2 times a times b times cosine of capital C. Now, just like in law of sines, law of cosines, the a, b, c, those are arbitrary. What matters is where the variable is and where the angle measure is. So in this case, this angle measure of 41, that's going to be my capital C value when I plug it in. And then the angle across from it is x, and that's going to be little c. From here, A and B just get thrown in there. So let's go ahead and substitute. So I'm going to make x my little c, and then I'm going to go ahead and just make a 29 and 13b. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to get x squared equals 29 squared plus 13 squared minus 2 times 29 times 13 times cosine of my angle 41. Now that looks like a lot of math, but it really is just substituting the same numbers in a couple times. So x squared equals 29 squared plus 13 squared. So my a value is 29, b is 13, and then when I come down here, I'm just going to do 29, 13. And then my angle is here. When you type this into your calculator, it looks very intimidating, but it's easy if you put parentheses around it. The way that you want to make sure to group this so your calculator knows what to do is you want to put parentheses around the first two minus all the rest of it. So let's practice typing this in. So remember, it is x squared equals. I am using a trig function of cosine, so that lets me know I need to make sure my calculator is in the right mode. I press the mode button and notice that degree is highlighted, so I just can press clear and move on. When I type it in, I want to make sure to type it in exactly how I see it. So I'm opening a parenthesis, 29 squared plus 13 squared, close my parenthesis, minus, open a new set, 2 times 29 times 13 times cosine of 41, close my cosine parentheses, and I'm going to close my original. Press enter, and we get an answer of 440.9. Now this is this x squared function, so to undo the square, I need to square root. Your calculator will do this for you. So all you have to do is press second, and it will pop up the arrow, and then the x squared button is located right here. Second x squared brings up the square root. Second minus sign, which is located here, brings up the answer. So this reads as square root my previous answer. Press enter, and my answer is 21. So x is 21. If you don't want to do it that way, you can always do just this part, get your answer, and then just do the square root of 440.9. And you still get the same answer. It is up to you. All right, let's try another one. So in this next example, I'm going to make this my capital C value. That's my angle. That's my side. And these other two values are just going to be A and B. Remember, it doesn't matter which one you make, A or B. They're just basically those supplemental variables that you're going to be plugging in. So let's substitute. I'm going to write my formula again. C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB times cosine of C. Okay? Now I'm just going to substitute. My x value is, or my c value is just x, so x squared equals, a and b are interchangeable, so I'm going to have 17 squared plus 28 squared minus 2 times 17 times 28 times cosine of the angle, 91. So just remember these A and B values, they're just basically the other two sides you have left. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and type it into my calculator. Remember when you type it into your calculator to group the first set here and group the second set here. So I'm going to have parentheses, 17 squared plus 28 squared, close parenthesis, close your parenthesis, minus, open a new set, 2 times 17 times 28 times cosine of 91, close the cosine parenthesis, and close the intro parenthesis. We get 1089.6. We want to square root that answer. So I'm going to press second x squared, second negative sign. So square root my answer, 33. Okay, let's try the very last one. So again, I'm going to just go ahead and write my formula down. C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2 times A times B times cosine of C. So I'm going to go ahead and label. Here's my angle. That's capital C. That helps me know I'm going to substitute into here. X is going to go here. X squared equals, I know that's little c, I'm going to go ahead and just make that A and B. Remember, it doesn't matter which one's A or which one's B because you're just going to be subbing them in at different times. So x squared equals 9 squared plus 14 squared minus 2 times 9 times 14 times cosine of 17. When typing this into my calculator, I'm going to group the first two and then this whole last part. So in my calculator, I'm going to do parenthesis 9 squared plus 14 squared, close parenthesis, minus, open a new set, 2 times 9 times 14 times cosine of 17. Close parenthesis, close the other one, and I get 36.01. Square root that answer, 6. So x squared, we got 36.01. Square rooting that answer gave us an answer of 6. Now remember to use law of sine, or use law of cosines whenever you have one angle and 3 sides.